Hi there, my name's Alistair Kennedy and I'm the Sociable Social Worker, and I give practical advice to social workers and those looking to foster and adopt. In this video I'm going to look at social work interviews for newly qualified social workers and those doing AYSE in the UK, and 10 things not to say in your interview for a job. Now this follows on from another series of videos that I did on social work interviews, so you might want to watch them, and they're in the box below. So this is mainly for newly qualified social workers and ASYE, but some experienced social workers might benefit from it too. Don't worry about remembering all the 10 points. I will recap them all at the end. Okay, let's get on with it. So in any interview, you're going to be asked that question: tell us about yourself. And what you're going to say. Are you going to say you take long walks on the beach? Well, don't say what someone said to me in an interview once was that I really like internet dating. No, you don't. You shouldn't ever mention things like that. What you do want to mention is have an elevator pitch. So something like it lasts 2 minutes and it tells the interviewers everything that they need to know about your key skills, your education, how that your values sit, that you've got an interest in social justice, and any experience that you have that you're bringing to this role. Make it short and concise and learn it off by heart. Elevator pitch. Another question that you might get asked is about how you experience working in a team, and can you tell us about how you solved a particular problem. Now, for a start, don't say any answers negatively with like, well, I left school, I went to uni, I've just finished uni, I've done my social work course, so I don't have a lot of experience in working with teams, sorry. You need to take 3 positives from your CV. So for example, you have to say, I have transferable skills. Now, if you worked in Burger King or at Asda or in a car wash, all 3 things that I've done, you still have transferable skills. You're a fast learner. And this is what I proved in my placements when I was doing my social work course. There you go. Simple, explains everything. You don't have to go into great detail about how you've got experience in a team or whatever. It's just an overview of your experience of team working. But I hear you ask, I never had a job before and I've just left uni. Well, what you want to use your KSS, and that's from your ASYE if you did it. And also you need to answer that question by focusing on the strength of your personality, your enthusiasm for the role. Make the lack of experience that you've got work in your favour. Use it as a strength and tell the panel that you're fresh, you're enthusiastic, you're hungry for the job, you're ready to get started, and you've got no preconceptions and no baggage. And you know, people will hire you without a lot of experience as long as you've got enthusiasm and you're excited about the role. That goes a long way. You need to know the job that you're applying for. Read the job description, of course, and also you need to know the ins and outs of the job that you're applying for. Don't do it as one woman came to me, one newly qualified social worker. She had applied for a fostering job, and we got all the way to the interview point where we started talking about regulations that underpin your practice or legislation. And she said to me, oh, I thought this was an adoption job. For goodness sake. No, it's a fostering job. So there you go. So she hadn't even read the job description. I don't think she'd even been told by the agency what kind of job it was. So do your homework. Make sure that the light bulb doesn't come on in your head halfway through the interview and you go, this isn't the job I thought it was. Make sure you study the job description carefully. Pick out the elements that you can use for your interview response. I spoke about this in a previous video. Not knowing your legislation that underpins your practice is unforgivable, and you don't need to know it all, but for example, if it's childcare, you need to at least know the basic premise of the Children's Act for social work 89 2004, and don't forget all the evidence you have from your KSS and your PCF from your AYSE. You did it for 3 to 4 years. You should know all these, and people will ask. Don't brag, don't be cocky, don't be overconfident. I know that's hard. We always say to people, be confident, but don't sit back in the chair and go, yeah, I know, oh yeah, I did that in my placement, yeah, I've done that, yeah. Don't lean back. Tonality is key. Always look interested, always be enthusiastic, but never ever cocky. When we ask you why should we hire you, don't say, I really need a job, I've got no money. That might be the truth, and that's what's thinking in the back of your head. I know I was when I went for my first social work job. I had absolutely no money. Basically what you need to say is, look, it's been tough finding a job. You know, I need this job, but it needs to be the right fit, and we need to be the right fit. And I think it's important that I find out much from you and you find out as much from me, and so that we can work together in partnership. And that's better than getting into a desperation mode. When you're trying to answer the question, don't say, oh, I'm so nervous. The interviewer already knows that you're nervous, but fumbling for words and not knowing the answers and hiding it by saying you're nervous just makes us think that you don't really trust what you're saying. And particularly in a newly qualified social worker, you're never going to get a job if we don't trust what you're saying. So don't talk about your current or your past employers. Don't talk about your placement teacher or your practice teacher. It seems a simple one, right? But you find how many people get caught out with this. People get drawn into the interviewer and they think, oh, the interviewer likes me, and it starts off well and they get sucked in, and then before you know it, people are saying, oh, did you know that person? Oh, I knew that person. Oh, that's a terrible person. Oh, I never liked that. Every sector in social work is pretty small. Some sectors are so small that the key players all know one another. So always be nice, always be positive. Even if you previously hated your job or your practice teachers, just don't talk about it. The weaknesses question, it's always there. What are your weaknesses? And say, so some people I've seen have said, yeah, well, actually, I don't have any weaknesses. I'm good at everything. No, you're not good at everything. And how can we as interviewers find people to fit into the right roles and posts if you brand yourself as an all-star social worker? We're never going to find a role for you because you're just so wonderful. And also, some channels on YouTube always say, well, you should turn your weaknesses into positives. So things, there's times when I struggle with my work-life balance and I sometimes work too hard for my employers. Who wants to hire a martyr? Nobody wants a martyr who's going to get burnt out and require okay health. Self-care is always key. We always want that, and I talk about that all the time in my videos, but martyrs need not apply. You better be truthful. You know, I always say, what are my weaknesses? I'm absolutely hopeless at detail, and then I go in to explain why I'm hopeless at detail. So what about the strengths question? Well, I've said before, don't rhyme off your strengths. So say I'm consistent, I'm studious. What you need to be saying is why you're consistent, why you're studious, and use case studies to back that up. Because social workers, we all love a case study. So, as I said, let's recap. Number 1, know your elevator pitch. Have that 2-minute pitch ready. No negative self-statements. Understand your role. Know your legislation. Be confident but not cocky. Don't seem desperate. Don't criticise old employers. Don't hide behind your nerves. And be honest about your weaknesses. And always, as I said before, use case studies. If this video was useful to you, then press the like button. And if you want to subscribe, then please press the subscribe button. And if you want notifications on future videos, then ring the little bell. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Okay, best luck in your next interview.